All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So, a little while back, I'd say 1 to 2 weeks ago, I did a reaction to a video from Uncut Hoops, and the title of it, I believe, was "The NBA Has a Competition Problem." And really good video. The only reason I'm bringing it up is somewhere towards the end, I go on a rant about how we're like the standard fans of the NBA, but we're not the wealthy. You know what I mean? And no matter what we do, these games are still being sold out because the game has now turned into more of a rich person's game. You know, it's more of a status symbol to go to NBA games than it used to be, where it used to be, you know, an event you can do maybe once or twice a year with your family, and you can afford it. But when you do it, it's not going to cost like $500 a ticket. And then also, like, you buy a couple of things, you get some food. It's not going to cost you literally now, like nowadays, thousands of dollars for one night of fun, you know? So the whole point of me bringing that up was that even if we vote with our wallets as fans and we don't go to the games, we don't buy the jerseys and do all that stuff, we're kind of in a bad spot because no matter what, the wealthy are going. You know what I mean? So I feel like we've been kind of priced out of the NBA, and it's not something I really thought of too much until that video. And finally, the reason I bring it up is because Uncut got into the comments and basically said something along the lines of like, I never thought about it that way, but you got a point. Well, Uncut and everybody else who watched that video, this one's for you all, and this is for me as well. I found this video here, popped up on my feed, and it's called "You Can't Afford the NBA Anymore," and that's by design. This is from a YouTube channel called Rivalry Record. Video came out about a month ago, 112,000 views. Channel has only 748 subscribers, you guys. I am not subscribed. I've never watched a video from this channel, but you know, if I like it, I'll be subscribing, and I'll ask you guys to do the same, because it's a very small channel at this point. So, you know, even 20, 40, 60, 100 subscribers will help a lot. But anyways, I'm going to judge based off of how I like the video. And anyways, Uncut, if you're watching, awesome. Let's watch this together. Everybody, let's watch this together. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description for you all. That way, if you do want to check it out, link is right there. You'll also see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys, my friends. I appreciate you guys. Everyone, please like the video. It helps out a ton. Let's do this. And real quick before we get into it, like, this kind of got sparked from me because of actually having a conversation, multiple conversations with my friends, my buddies, who I would like to go to these games with. But every single time we end up in a position of like, all right, if we go, we don't know if the star is going to show up or if they're going to load manage. So we don't know if we're going to get what we're paying for. And when we're looking at prices like $500 a ticket, it's like, oh man, it's a hell of a risk to take, because none of us are wealthy.
John has been a Knicks fan longer than he has owned a smartphone. He still remembers sneaking into games as a kid, nosebleeds, popcorn, and screaming his lungs out. For 25 years, he never missed a home playoff game. It was tradition. Him, his brother, 2 overpriced hot dogs, and hope. But this year, he couldn't even afford the cheap seats.
Yeah.
The same seats he used to get for $50 now cost more than his rent. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, courtside...
I remember that's how I got to see Jordan way back in the day was, all we could afford was the nosebleeds. So that's what we did. Chicago here in Phoenix, I can't remember the year anymore. I was really young at the time. Too young to truly appreciate it, but not too young to remember it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, it was cheap. It was a cheap price.
Looked like a ghost town. Empty rows, silent sidelines. Half the people who could afford those seats didn't even show up. So what happened? When did the NBA stop being a game and start being a velvet-roped VIP experience?
Yeah.
Even Mark Cuban, the loudest and proudest owner in the league, cashed out. And when you hear why, you will see just how far the league has shifted. Let's be real.
I mean, he has said some things along the lines of he doesn't feel like NBA team ownership is a sport thing anymore. More so, it's a real estate investment now. And he basically said, I'm not a real estate guy, so it's not for me anymore. And I was really surprised to hear it, but I kind of get it.
The game didn't change by accident. This was planned, engineered. Call it a pivot or a full-blown rebrand. The NBA stopped selling basketball and it started selling ambiance. Take Barclays Center in Brooklyn. You walk in and the first thing you see isn't a scoreboard, it's a wine cellar. VIP lounges, marble bars, courtside sushi chefs. There's even a private tunnel just for celebrities. Cause God forbid Beyonce has to wait in line for nachos.
Something to cheer about.
All right, you got me with that one, man. You got me. Subscribed. Let's go.
Arenas like Chase Center and FTX Arena were built like five-star resorts, not stadiums. They are not just hosting games, they're hosting status. Madison Square Garden?
They're hosting status.
After its billion-dollar renovation, they cut 15% of general admission seats to make room for more luxury boxes.
That sucks, man. That sucks. So they cut out 15% of the seats that you and I could afford to make room for this, for the uber rich.
And this wasn't just about comfort, it was about math. Premium seats and suites make up less than 20% of total inventory. But for most teams, they generate 60 to 70% of ticketing revenue. Even league
That's why they can care less what we say.
sources admit the average is close to 50%. One courtside seat sold to a hedge fund exec, that's worth more than 20 regular fans combined. The NBA didn't just follow the money, they re-engineered the whole experience to orbit around it. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's a luxury lifestyle brand. And if your weekends don't include bottle service or VIP access, you're not who they're building it for.
Yep.
There was a time.
And what's sad is like if the average Joe or Jane like us go to a game, we fork up the money to do it. You know, between us and a couple people, we're looking at over 1,000, maybe 15. I'd say about average about $500 a seat at this point. So if we're doing that, we don't have any more money to buy any of this other stuff. Like we can't. You imagine how much the food is, how much the drinks are. I've been to a couple of concerts where at the Footprint Center where the Suns play, but I haven't been to any games recently because I'm literally priced out. At least with concerts, I can get in, still for like $60-$70. That's kind of on the high end. So at that point, it's fine. Like, I'll buy a $12 beer or whatever and just enjoy the night. But if I'm already starting out at $500, that's way beyond my budget for one night.
Sitting courtside meant you were the biggest fan in the building. Now, it means you probably don't even know the starting lineup. The front row used to be electric, hecklers, super fans.
Yeah.
That one dude screaming, "Ball don't lie."
Wallace picks up two quick technicals.
But today, the vibe is more hedge fund retreat than hometown pride. And here is the kicker. It's not that those seats hometown pride. And here is
Paid $800 for the upper deck. Lower bowl looks like a ghost town. This is wild. Look at that. They paid $800 for these seats. Wouldn't they want the crowd closer to the action? At that point, don't you discount the prices to fill up the arena? This is Houston.
the kicker. It's not that those seats aren't sold.
Hold up. Sorry, guys. What the okay, I'm curious what he's about to say here in the second half of his sentence. Is he going to say it's not that these tickets aren't sold, it's that these guys aren't even bothering to show up because they got that kind of like FU money?
Seats aren't sold. They're just sold to people who don't show up.
Damn.
Corporate buyers, season pass holders with no plans to attend, high rollers using tickets like business cards.
Well, then that hikes up the prices then. If a bunch of people are buying tickets just because they have FU money, then all of a sudden, yeah, we have to fight over tickets. And what happens in a supply and demand chain at that point? Damn, the supply price goes up. This is a banger video, by the way, you guys.
Ticket prices have exploded in the year.
Oh man, too fast though. That's the only thing. The visuals are a little too fast, but we're doing a reaction, so we're gonna do it right. Year 2000. Okay, so yeah, average ticket price $51, dude. This is when I was still going to a lot of games. 2000, I'd say about 2013. I could still easily afford to go to a basketball game, no problem. And it didn't break the bank. It was just a fun experience. Spend a couple hundred, have a great night. You know, and I'm talking about drinks before and after the game. You know, have some nachos during the game, all that.
In the year 2000.
And now it's saying $1,000 basically, which is wild because I thought I was being nice by saying it was 500, but we're looking at $1,000 for entry level tickets. Jeez, who can afford this?
In the year 2000, the average lower bowl seat for a playoff game, about $150. Today, you're lucky if you can grab a seat for under $1,200.
Wow.
And that's before fees. And this is the sad irony. The real fans, the loud ones, the loyal ones, the ones...
Man, I wasn't here for this game, but I was here during this series.
...who breathe this game are getting priced out of the building. It's like the game is happening without us.
Yeah.
Like they don't even need us anymore. Even the players are feeling it. Energy wins games. And when the lower bowl looks like a VIP lounge at a tech conference, home court advantage
Woody
becomes just a myth from the past.
That's true. Okay, so we've all asked the question why home court advantage doesn't seem to matter as much. This is probably why. These are just general people looking for entertainment. They're not actually basketball fans, and if they are, they don't have a team per se, because they're very wealthy businessmen, women who are traveling all over the country and all over the world all the time. So they don't really have a home base.
But for team owners, the shift makes perfect sense. Why sell 20 seats to real fans when one luxury suite brings in the same revenue?
Yeah, it's all about money.
I feel like they stopped selling basketball. Now they're just selling exclusivity. You want to know when the game really changed? It wasn't during the lockout. It wasn't after a trade. It happened on the blueprint before the first brick was even laid. Old school arenas were built like stadiums, stacked high, packed tight, loud as hell. Now, they're built like luxury hotels that happen to host a basketball game every now and then. When Madison Square Garden underwent its billion-dollar renovation, guess what happened? They cut 15% of general seating.
Yeah.
You heard that right.
Yep.
They took out regular seats and made room for VIP clubs, premium suites, and exclusive lounges. And MSG isn't alone. The Chase Center in San Francisco, designed from day one to be a luxury experience first, basketball arena second. The owners are not stupid. They did the math. You don't need louder fans. You just need richer ones.
Yeah.
For them, it's about efficiency, not crowd energy, not home court chaos, just cold, hard ROI.
Suhpac, this is even worse than I thought it was, you guys. Like,
you will hear them saying things like, we are redefining the fan experience, but let's be real. They're just redefining who gets to be a fan in the first place.
yeah, that they're redefining the demographic.
Because when you design the arena for billionaires, you stop designing it for families. The birthday game tradition, the father-son moment in the nosebleeds, yeah, those get cut from the blueprint too. Section 421, gone.
I know, imagine that. If your kid wants to go to a game for their birthday or something, and you're like, okay, that's going to cost me about $3,000 if it's just me and you. What else could I do with $3,000? How about like a Nintendo Switch 2? You want a PS5? I'll give you a new tablet and a new phone. What do you think the kid's gonna choose? You know, that money goes a long way compared to this.
Replaced by a high-end lounge that most lifelong fans will never even step foot in. They didn't just rebuild the arena, they rebuilt who it was for.
Yeah.
Back in 2000, Mark Cuban was a billionaire fan with a fat wallet and a courtside seat to his dream. He bought the Dallas Mavericks for $285 million, not because it made business sense, but because he loved basketball.
For sure.
He was courtside every game, sweating through timeouts, arguing calls, jumping like a maniac when Dirk hit a three. And when the Mavs finally won it all in 2011, that joy, it was real because Cuban was not playing owner. He was living the dream.
Yep, he did.
When he sold the majority of the team in 2023, people were stunned. Why would the NBA's most passionate owner walk away from the business?
I know, and then Michael Jordan did it right afterwards too. You gotta wonder, is the bubble about to pop?
He wasn't just in it for profit.
You turned down $3 billion?
Yeah. What do I need $3 billion for?
So what changed? The business changed. The new owners aren't lifelong basketball junkies. They're casino billionaires. And their plan? A brand new arena built into a glitzy Vegas-style resort with basketball as a backdrop, not the main attraction. Today, the NBA isn't just competing with the NFL or MLB. It's competing with Coachella, with luxury hotels, with your next Instagram flex. Cuban didn't leave the Mavericks entirely. He kept control of basketball operations, but the rest, the suites, the deals, the revenue streams, he handed those over.
Well, and then we found out, and he's talked about it, well, when you only have, what has he got, 30% of the team? He's not really in charge of basketball operations either. Because he said the Luka Doncic trade, he was told, he wasn't consulted. And what is he going to do? You know, the other 70% of the ownership outweighs him. So there's nothing he can do except for go, okay, you know, share his opinion, saying, I don't think we should have done it. But outside of that, he's got no power anymore.
Maybe basketball alone just doesn't pay like it used to.
And then Genie Bus as well doing it. I mean, you guys, you have to stop and wonder. You know, it's like any other investment in the world. When the big dogs start selling the top, when the big dogs start selling, and these are long holders, okay? Michael Jordan, Mark Cuban, Genie Bus, the Bus family. These long hold big dogs all sell within a year span. That's normally the indication in any kind of open market that we're about to crash. You know what I mean? Except for the problem is I don't see exactly how it's going to happen if they're making this much money in the games. I understand that viewership is down for us people at home, but I'm starting to wonder if I overestimated how much revenue they were really getting from us at home and the advertisements versus what they're getting in these arenas.
It's not just the arenas that have changed, it's the soul of the sport. Even the owners, the ones who once lived for the roar of the crowd, now find themselves doing math instead of dreaming.
I get this is hard, but I'm out.
Mark Cuban didn't sell the
I
Mavericks
love Shark Tank, by the way.
because he stopped caring. He sold because the game he fell in love with isn't the game that's being sold today. Up there in the rafters, that's where the game still lives, where fans scream on every bucket, where you high-five strangers, where one playoff game can make your whole month. Up there in the cheap seats is where basketball still feels...
You know what? The writing was kind of on the wall. I remember going to a playoff game, Suns versus Lakers. I mentioned that game earlier. I had actually really good seats. I was somewhere around, I'd say about here with a buddy of mine. Okay? Great seats. Close enough to where my buddy was able to go over here at one point and high-five Amari Stoudemire when he was going through the tunnel. Like, really cool stuff. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is we're rowdy Suns fans, dude. You know, like, we're hoping for a championship this year. We are rowdy. We are loud. We are cursing Kobe. We are cursing every Laker. You know, like, we're really into it, as you should be when you're paying big bucks, to get a good seat. These are the best seats I've ever had in my life. And we did it intentionally because of how important the game was. Now, the whole row in front of us was all business execs, all wearing suits and ties, all dressed, all proper. And guess what? As we're standing up here, yelling and shouting, cheering on the Suns, these guys aren't even Suns fans. They kept turning around and being like, could you guys quiet down? And we're like, hell no, we can't quiet down. We're at a Suns playoffs game, So, like, if anything, it made us more obnoxious. This is me in my early 20s. But the idea is that should have been a warning sign to me. That wasn't an isolated situation. This was the future. Because now business execs, the rich people are taking up all these rows, all these seats. And then where do we end up? For the same price, we end up somewhere up here now. The writing was on the wall the whole time. I just wanted to dismiss it as like those guys are just assholes. You know what I mean? Like those guys are way out of place. Turns out, fast forward a couple of years, I'm the guy who's out of place now.
Sacred, but down by the floor, it's not about passion anymore. It's about proximity to power. It's the loudest silence in sports. The empty roar of seats sold, but never filled. Although the league is thriving, franchises are now worth billions. Players are richer than ever. Owners swimming in profits. But for the average fan, the lifeblood is priced out, cut off, watching their favorite game through a paywall or through glass. Because somewhere along the way, basketball stopped being a game and became an investment portfolio.
Yeah, I hear it's something that the new owner out here actually did right. He hasn't done anything else right, in my opinion. But he made it so we can watch the local games for free out here again. It's even if you don't have cable or streaming or internet, as long as you have the old school antenna, you're good. You can watch Suns games out here. I appreciate that a lot. What I understand, and maybe you guys can chime in, is I know there's a lot of states that you can't watch your local team play basketball on TV. Like, you don't get a free method of doing that anymore. And I think that's just insane. Like, the old school idea is you want the whole city behind a team. Like, it was a us thing. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, cool for the Suns. No, it was like, we are the Suns. You wanted everyone's support. But now they put it behind a paywall. And that's messed up, man.
John still watches, still believes, but it's not the same. Because when the NBA sold out arenas to the highest bidder, it might have sold out something else too. Should the NBA bring back affordable tickets for real fans?
I wish.
The soul of the game was never in luxury boxing. It was the noise, the chaos, the people. So the question isn't, can the NBA make more money? It's, can it still make memories for everyone? If you have ever screamed yourself hoarse in the cheap seats, if you've ever skipped bills just to see your team live, if you still believe basketball is for the fans, this is your moment to speak up. Let us know in the comments, what would you change about today's NBA experience? More access, lower ticket prices, or a complete rethinking of what it means to be a fan? And hey, if this story hit home, don't just scroll past. Like it, share it, subscribe.
I'm doing it.
Because this is just one of the many untold NBA stories we're diving into. From power plays behind the scenes to legends who redefine the game. We're just getting started. See you next time.
Dang. Great video. I subscribed very early on during this video. I don't know about you guys, but this is a cool channel. Another cool channel out of nowhere. And I'm happy I found it. It just popped up on my feed. Sometimes that algorithm is great, I tell you. To answer the questions, like, what can they do different? I mean, obviously make it affordable for the average person, because that's the thing. The amount of wealthy people out there does not outnumber the amount of just regular, average citizens, with regular average incomes like us. So if you really want like the whole city watching and supporting the team, then you have to lower the barrier of entry. Yes, we understand we'll be in the nosebleeds. We're priced out of the expensive seats, but guys, can we have some $100 tickets, like up all the way on the top? Something like that. That's all I'm asking for. Maybe out of like the 40,000 or whatever tickets being sold, maybe we have 1,000 that's just nosebleeds at $100. You know what I mean? And it's like, we all know why we're here, because we can't afford the good seats. But honestly, I think that would be kind of a cool experience, because that's where the real fans are. I would actually enjoy going to a game knowing I'm packed in with the real fans and not the business execs who are telling me to shush, because I'm rooting for the home team. Like, I don't like that experience. I'd rather be with the rowdy ones like me, the ones who know, like, hey, this is the only opportunity I got all year to support the team in person, so I'm going to let loose a little bit and have some fun. So that's one. Two, make it so we could all watch the home team for free. We don't need League Pass for that. We could support the home team for free. And what the team gets back in return is they get ad revenue. Do it. Stop this nonsense. You got to bring this back. But here's the problem. I can answer these questions all day. I can say, oh, the players need to care more, blah, blah, blah. I can talk about this crap all day. You know it. At the end of the day, if they're making this much money without us, why make room for us? And that's the scary reality that I'm realizing about this entire thing. Is like, it's no wonder why I feel a disconnect from the sport that I love, and I've loved since I was 5 years old, because I'm not one of them anymore. They're not one of me. We're not the same anymore. I'm not the same as most basketball fans are anymore. I'm not rich. I'm not a status type of person who's going to sit in the rich seats wearing super expensive clothing to make a status symbol statement. That's not me, and that's not the average sports fan. So what the hell is this now? But they're making more money than ever, so my opinion's worth jack shit to them. That's what sucks, you know? It reminds me of chicken wings, y'all. I'll end on this. It reminds me of chicken wings. You remember back in the day where like buffalo wings was basically like, this is cheap ass food, you know what I mean? But it's good, it'll fill you up, you know, it's not too bad for you. So anywhere you lived, any amount of money you were making back in the day, man, you can go get 20 chicken wings. And what would you spend back in the day? Let me think. It was like $3.75 for 12. So you'd get like 3 chicken wings per dollar. So like 25 to 33 cents for a wing. Yeah, you can do good now. Now, it's over $1 per chicken wing. I don't know if you guys noticed, everywhere you go, chicken wings has become a luxury food when it used to be a food for us, you know, whatever word you want to use. It used to be for the average folk who can't afford something better, you know. Now you go in and you get like an order of 6 wings, you're looking at $10. What the hell happened? You know, so it's just I've noticed this in different things. Like the McDonald's Big Mac used to be $1 on special all the time. Now it's $7.50. Like these things that were considered, I'll just say it straight, peasant stuff, you know, is now they're now luxury items. And you know, me being a guy who supported the Phoenix Suns from all the way back in the day when I was a kid, you know, we didn't have much money to do these things, and they didn't even have their own like arena yet. You know, cheap thing to do for us, you know, for your regular hard-working American family to be able to go and enjoy an event. Now we're priced out, just like we're priced out on Big Macs and chicken wings. What the hell's going on in this world? All right, I think that's all I have to say. I'm out of here for now. What are people supposed to do for entertainment when they don't have a lot of money anymore? That's my real question. Because it seems like the wealthy have taken over everything. You know what I mean? Like, what's next? We can't go to the state fair? There's just going to be a bunch of people in suits at the state fair, so like we don't have a place and it's going to be catered to them. I don't see what else is left. What else is left for us to do? You know, I remember trying to go to a WNBA game last year because I wanted to see Caitlin Clark in person. $400. $400 per ticket. Because I talked to my buddies about, hey, why don't we do this instead? And then, yeah, it's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money. All right, I'm out of here. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. This was a fantastic video. The link is down below in the description for the original video. I highly recommend you consider subscribing to this channel. Might be a big up-and-coming channel from the quality of this video, especially. Everyone, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And most importantly, hang in there, everybody. Hopefully this is just like a trend and it starts to pass. Because it sure would be nice to be able to afford some entertainment again. Anyways, you guys, be water.